This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Another great performance from Kevin Owens last night. We'll get into it. Welcome everyone to another edition of the War Report podcast, brought to you by TakeMeADate.com. The Road to WrestleMania continues. Cody Watch 2022 continues. We have a lot to cover. What's going on, guys?
We're here in another wonderful week of wrestling.
WrestleMania's coming up.
Indeed it is.
It is coming up. You know, Kat was mentioning before we went on. I can't say I totally disagree. There's nothing that's really jumping out to make her so ultra excited.
Yeah.
But I did point out there are a couple things so far. Edge AJ Styles, I kind of want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then Austin, of course. I still don't think it's going to be anything more than a Kevin Owens show and a couple stunners and a beer bash. But then I hear that he's training and getting into great shape. But they keep promoting it as he's going to be on the Kevin Owens show.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just saying that to play it safe in case he doesn't feel that he can. I don't know.
For me, I just feel like if you're going to promote a full match with Austin, wouldn't you start like back at the fucking Rumble or something, to build this up? That's why I don't think it's going to be anything more than a stunner and a beer bash.
Well, listen, if there's anyone that could pull off a segment to be like the segment of all segments, it would be that, because they can make this kind of like, sorry to go way back WrestleMania, but you could make this like a Roddy Piper, Brother Love, Morton Downey Jr. type thing.
Fire extinguisher.
Exactly. Classic. So there are ways to make it work. Like I said, I just hope it's not, like you said, a 3-second spot with a beer with a beer and a stunner.
I mean, listen, they got 2 nights and how many hours? They could sure give this, a solid 5 to 8 minute segment.
6 per night.
It could end up being like when The Rock beat Eric Rowan in like 10 seconds,
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's not that kind of situation.
But Kevin Owens deserves more than that, though, too, than a 10-second spot
right,
in Mania.
That's the thing. Like, what is Kevin Owens getting out of this besides...
Well, listen.
Obviously working with Austin.
I'm saying...
That's enough, and it's up right there.
Well, right. I mean, not only is he working with Austin, but he's working with him at WrestleMania. I mean, what Owens did last night, right? He got the crowd to go fucking apeshit thinking Austin was really there. And then, the camera zoomed out enough where all you see is the bald head. And for a second, you really, and then they zoom in, you see it's Owens.
Got me for half a second, I'll admit.
Yeah. I mean, it did, what it was supposed to do. He did a great impression of him. And then, did a stunner, cut a great promo. Owens is so good. So he deserves to have a solid moment at WrestleMania. And, but I do think it's going to be just a can of whoop ass. I don't think it's going to be much more than that.
And that's what kind of sucks too, because you're right. It's taking it from Steve Austin, but He just signed this renewal contract for millions of dollars to have a 5-minute spot maybe at WrestleMania.
But he's getting to work with Austin. To me,
Absolutely.
I think that, you know,
and that's one of the good things about it is that the day after WrestleMania, he could still, like, you know, from now on, he could still claim that he worked with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. That's huge.
That's true. That is definitely true.
And that could still delve into anything for Owens after that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just very on the fence about this entire.
This was the beginning of Raw, right?
Yeah, the opening of Raw was Kevin Owens coming out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's music with the wig shield on, like, you know, so his head looked completely bald.
For a
Austin
second, I
316
thought he
shirt.
shaved his head.
Yeah, I did too. But then I realized it was a Daddy Warbucks thing. So it was a good 10-minute. I'm gonna say 5-10 minute spot for him. Like I said, anything that Kevin Owens does is going to be pure gold. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So then Raw just slowly dwindled down after that.
I mean, you know what? I look at it like, even if it is a 5-minute spot, right? Think about this for a second. You're Kevin Owens. Do you really give a fuck? Here's what I mean. I'm still a part of WrestleMania. I'm still getting a payday because I'm putting asses in the seat because I was chosen to go with Steve Austin.
And a big payday at that.
Right. You know what I mean? And then I get to work with Austin at WrestleMania, and it could be one of the greatest segments of the whole entire show. Am I really that pissed off? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining regardless.
Like, I just, you know, I think Kevin Owens probably doesn't give a shit at all how long or what the result is. At the end of the day, he's there and he's a part of the show and he's working with Austin.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
but then the shitty thing that's going to be is if it's on Sunday night, because then we have to go through all of Saturday to get to that on Sunday.
I hate the 2-night.
Mm-hmm. And then they announced this week that they want to do that permanently.
Well, they said that last year. That's why I wasn't surprised that they did it this year. That's not new.
Oh man.
Yeah, that unfortunately is not new news.
It kind of makes me not want to go to WrestleMania for quite a while again.
Well, yeah, because I'm not gonna pay to go to both nights, and to have to choose, you know, and then I'll be pissed off if there's something I really wanted to see that, you know.
Yeah, especially
and that's
because
sad.
WrestleMania sells by name alone, but way before any matches are even thought of.
Right. But how sad is that this is actually putting us in a position now that we don't want to attend and we don't want to watch the whole thing? When have we ever been put in that situation before that's what we want to do?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of like, I don't think I wouldn't want to watch the whole thing. You know, it's still WrestleMania. At the end of the day, I'm going to watch the whole thing, but it just bothers me. But it bothers me.
There's no chance I'm watching 2 nights of WrestleMania or the whole, like, I don't even know if I may not like, I might tune in live on Saturday. I don't know. Maybe I don't even know. I feel like I'm not going to watch, dude. Like, I'm not interested.
It's putting me in that. I'm very close on the fence to that too. That's what I mean. It's like, I don't want to watch a 2-hour pre-show.
But they've also spent, like, they're not built, like, they've announced a few matches. They've built up a few matches, but then it's like, you don't really know what's going on with the Intercontinental stuff. You don't really know what's going on with some tag team stuff. Is the U.S. title even a thing anymore? I guess it is. Like, there's not enough wrestling on this wrestling show for me. There's a lot of Logan Pauls and a lot of talk segments with legends and shit like that, but there's just not a lot of wrestling on. And I understand WrestleMania is the showcase with the celebrities, but still, at the end of the day, WrestleMania has, you know, it's supposed to be putting their best foot forward. This is their Super Bowl, and it just doesn't feel like it this year.
Yeah, celebrities belong ringing the timekeeper's bell.
Yeah, they should be backstage with Bob Uecker. you know.
Hey, get your foot off
Get
my
your
shoulder.
foot off me.
I like you both going to say it at the same time.
That's classic. Absolutely classic. But yeah, no, I agree completely on that because, and then like you were saying, like, you know, for which night or whatever, like you want to see. Yeah, there's cards on each night that I want to see, but there's also cards on each night that I just don't give a flying fuck about, that I wouldn't even pay to probably go to the show.
Well, yeah. But also, oh, hi, I'm having some computer trouble, so that's why I'm on my phone right now. Yeah, that's the trouble I'm having. Like, especially because here's the other deal: Cody Watch is still going on, much like tracking our hurricanes and all of that. We've got Cody Watch currently going on, and you would think Jacksonville, no. AEW Stronghold, no. Chicago, AEW Stronghold, no. Last night, which is what, 2 weeks before WrestleMania, no. Now next week it's like Seth Rollins is gonna.
But I said it last week. I don't think we're gonna actually see him until WrestleMania, and I don't know that to me that's a bad thing. You know what I mean?
It's a bad thing for Seth Rollins.
But it just makes because here's what's gonna happen. Well, here's the problem I have with Seth Rollins. For the last couple of years, he's gone to WrestleMania, lost at WrestleMania in a big marquee match, and then went on to challenge for the title at the next pay-per-view. So whoever he's fighting, I know Seth Rollins is going to lose at WrestleMania and then immediately be number one contender as of the next night. So even Seth's WrestleMania match hasn't mattered in the last 2 or 3 years. Why is it going to matter this year?
I get it.
It's just sad, dude. Like, Seth Rollins is a former world champion, and they're pretending like there's not a spot for him on this show. Like, there's a spot for Logan Paul, but there's not a spot for Seth Rollins. The whole thing is just fucking silly.
I still think this.
And he
Logan
loses
Paul
too much, dude.
Stuff.
Like, everybody on these shows loses too much, and I just don't like. Why would you root for Seth Rollins? He's a loser. He's lost everything in the last couple months. He looks like a big fucking dweeb. Why would you like? Why should I care that Seth Rollins is on WrestleMania if he lost to Kevin Owens, he lost to AJ Styles, he lost to this guy, lost to that guy, lost to Roman Reigns? You know what I mean? It's like he couldn't beat Drew McIntyre. Like, whatever. Like, it's just he's a loser. So
he's got the underdog vote now from the crowd, though, because the crowd is actually behind him now with this horseshit.
But is he a bad guy or a good guy?
I still don't know the answer to that
Depends
question.
on his opponent.
Yeah, that's a good one. Depends on his opponent.
But then there's Omos.
Who cares?
There's a big mystery opponent coming up for Omos. It might be Bobby Lashley if he's cleared, but otherwise, I don't know.
Imagine if they bump Veer up to WrestleMania.
Oh no, Veer supposedly is going to be arriving the night after.
Right.
Who cares?
I'm already sick of this guy.
I could not even give a flying fuck about this guy now because they promoted him for too long. No, he's not going anywhere.
He's been on Main Event.
Ooh. That's a big card. He's been on Main Event.
Like, I don't think he's going to be this, like, Braun Strowman type deal where he's not really a big deal at first and then eventually become, I just don't have any.
Well, they're not doing a very good job with him because there's a story to be told with Veer Mahan. He's one of the 2 guys from India that was selected for the show, the finalists of $1 Million Arm. He was signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates because he was the guy. He was the only guy in India who could throw like 90 miles an hour.
I just figured out who Omos's opponent might be at WrestleMania.
If Cody's coming back, I feel like it's going to be Shaq versus Omos.
No, what if it's what's his name? The Olympic kid, Gable Stevenson?
Oh, yes. Gable Stevenson just won the NCAA heavyweight title.
And he just finished his completion. And he was posting the spoilers that he was going to be involved in WrestleMania.
Yeah, he retired from shoot wrestling. He put his boots in the ring, on the mat. And yeah, he tweeted and deleted that he's going to be at WrestleMania. So maybe he'll be the opponent. If Bobby Lashley is not cleared, because I don't know what his status is, but if Bobby Lashley is not cleared, Gable Steveson wouldn't be a bad idea.
And then hopefully we never see Omos again.
If Gable Steveson gives him the big Hulk Hogan body slam, like the Andre body slam, sure, fine.
There's a person that I actually does wished well in their future endeavors.
Who's that?
Omos.
I know what you mean.
But
listen, I don't want anybody to lose their job. I just want them to get better.
Like I said, we wish him well in his future endeavors. It's not happening.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, no one says we hope you fail everywhere else.
Right. Well, they should send Omos to Japan and have like the New Japan dojo train him, and he could come back as like a great.
Well, look what it did to Albert and Tomko, guys like that. Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, but Albert and Tomko could already move and actually had some talent beforehand or whatever. Like
this guy's like Giant Gonzalez or Giant Silva.
I was gonna say, when someone makes Khali look like he can work, that's when you know it's bad.
But what? So correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they just have him beat the shit out of the other big guy? Like, there's another big guy, Commander Aziz.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I thought, if anything, they were going to put them in like a unstoppable tag team or something.
But why would you? Yeah, why would you want to make one big guy look bad to make the other guy? Wouldn't you rather just have two big guys? Like, they just didn't need to interact.
I forgot the dude even worked there until he got in the ring with Omos, so it wasn't.
Oh, well, Aziz was with Apollo Crews, and apparently they've, this is the down period because they always do this with Apollo Crews. It's like somebody remembers he exists for 3 or 4 months, and they do something with him, and then they just fucking forget again.
So he'll end up back down in NXT or something.
I will say this though, going like this, changing subjects here, but Carmella and Zelina kind of had me for a second.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But again, I don't really. There's too many fucking makeshift bullshit tag teams.
Yeah,
especially in the women's division.
And that's now been made a fatal 4-way, that tag team championship match for WrestleMania. Because now with Natalya and
that post that went around, I'm sorry for sharing it because I thought it was legit. It had like a bunch of people like Shayna and Cedric listed as being released. That was not the case.
Yeah, we're glad that it was not the case.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that my friend is still employed.
But so it's Shayna, Natalya, Rhea and Liv, Sasha and Naomi versus Carmella and Zelina. So basically 4 tag teams that were just thrown together basically in the last 60 days are competing at WrestleMania.
Sounds about right.
I mean, well, to be fair, Naomi and Sasha have history. They were part of Team Bad with Tamina, so they have some kind of history. And Liv and Rhea kind of complement each other, but again, it's still too many,
I'm not taking away from any of the girls in the ring or what their ability, or they probably do mesh together because we all know that, especially the women's division, they all travel together and are really tight. So I'm not taking away from that point. I'm just saying the fact that, oh, well, you guys need a match in WrestleMania. You guys need a match in WrestleMania. You need that. So here, just throw it into a tag match.
Right. But, well, you know what? Yes, it is stupid. I give you that. But on the other side, I give them credit. They're trying to give as many people a payday as possible. So, you got to look at it from that point of view too. If you're just sitting in catering, you're not making that much money at WrestleMania.
Well, listen, I'll be the first one to admit it. Anything that puts the women forefront and center at WrestleMania is a good thing. I just think the way, like I said, the way it was done, I think is stupid. But every one of those women in the ring, maybe not Carmella a little bit.
Yeah,
but every one of those women in the ring deserve to be there.
Yeah.
And what are the odds that they put, Nikki and Doudrop together in this match too? At this point,
Ugh, Nikki and no thanks.
Don't put that voodoo on us, Ricky Bobby.
And Tara, I agree with you 100%. Nobody waste your time on the YouTube show.
Oh, what, the Carmella? What's his name? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that
I have
seemed like a bad
zero
idea.
interest.
Nope.
Didn't it get canceled already?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shows you how good it was.
I didn't have very high expectations, that's for sure.
I'd rather watch Temptation Island, which is bad.
Wow, that is bad.
It kind of, something struck me also last night, going back to the Seth Rollins thing. I'm like, Corey, isn't he like, what if Corey is the opponent?
For who?
Rollins.
That would be horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, that is the who gives a shit match of the century.
That would be absolutely horrible.
In Eric's eyes, the who gives a shit match is Pat McAfee, Austin Theory.
I'm actually looking forward to that one.
I am too, but in Eric's eyes, no.
I don't care. I don't care.
It'll be
That is no business
stupendous.
being on a fucking WrestleMania. Does nothing for Austin Theory either, especially if he loses.
Well, no, I think McAfee's going to put Austin Theory over. I think Vince McMahon's going to get involved. There's going to be a whole screw job.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know.
Bathroom break for me. Sorry.
What?
Bathroom break for me. But look,
that's going to be more than 5 minutes, so hopefully you have a lot to do.
But then there's the two women's title matches are going to be good, and Roman Brock are always going to deliver. So we got there's positives.
Yes.
But again, both of those matches they're saying right now are projected that both of those women title matches are both going to be on Saturday, and they're putting the tag team match on Sunday. Again, stupid.
Yeah, did I hear that the Becky Bianca match was going to be the opening match on Saturday? I don't know where I heard.
And Charlotte and Ronda is supposed to be the closing match on Saturday.
But then supposedly Kevin Owens and Stone Cold are supposed to close out Saturday. What's going on with that?
Well, how is Kevin Owens and Austin going to close if it's not going to be a match?
Well, I don't know. That's the problem.
You know what I mean? We can't end one of WrestleMania nights with a promo. Right.
Right.
So, like, what, we're going to finish with a beer bath? Like,
right. No, I know. But that might be it. I mean, who knows, dude? Like, I can't put it past them.
I mean, that's true.
I liked how Owens made the guy get in the ring to hand him the beer.
That was funny. Owens is great.
They did it again. They played the Stone Cold music, and then Owens came out dressed like Stone Cold. But then
he did it halfway through the promo too.
Again, they hit him with it again. Like, can you imagine? You must be like a big asshole for real.
Oh, but it was great because everybody popped.
Of course.
So funny.
Including all of us at home, like, wait, is it really him? Oh my God, wait, what?
Oh, for sure. Without question.
Alex was in his room, and I had it on in the living room, and I'm sitting there with Autumn. All of a sudden, you hear the glass break, and you hear everything. All of a sudden, all I just hear is like an elephant, because he came flying out of his room down the hallway, like, Stone Cold, like he was freaking Jim Ross. And he goes, it's Kevin Owens. I'm out of here. And he turned around and walked out of the room. He was like, felt so chipped.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yep. It's perfect. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Put the right amount of heat.
Nakamura and Boogs are going for the tag titles?
Yes. Nakamura and Boogs versus the Usos. And no other tag team has been added to that one yet. But now for the Raw tag team titles, the Street Profits, American Alpha, and RK Bro. So no, that just got made a triple threat last night. So that'll be interesting.
Shout out to Boogs too for doing a Freddie Mercury last week on SmackDown.
Yeah, I love that dude.
That that whole thing.
He's gonna be fantastic.
If they let him do his thing, he'll be big.
Yeah, and then Trying to think. So then, like we were talking about the Miz and
But I
Logan
think the
Paul.
Usos are going to retain.
Probably.
Yes, I agree.
But Rey Mysterio got unmasked last night also.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks to Logan Paul, I don't give a shit about Miz or the Mysterios at this point right now.
Yeah. Would have been better if he brought back John Morrison or something. Rehire Johnny Drip Drip.
That still doesn't make any sense.
But it's pretty bad when you'd rather see a squirt gun than a performer.
Right?
I'd rather there be a squirt gun than have to listen and look at Logan Paul.
Logan Paul makes me long for a Machine Gun Kelly at this point. Like, that's how bad it is.
Wow.
That's
Damn.
some strong words.
Those are strong
Ouch.
words.
I think Megan Fox has the same issue.
Powerbomb.
He did take a good
Machine Gun Kelly will at least sell in the video game.
He's such a waste of space, Logan Paul. I can't with that guy.
I just don't understand how, like, this is who we decided to bring in as a celebrity for WrestleMania.
He's not even a celebrity. He's a freaking YouTube. Like I said.
No, he's a TikTok kid, I think. Well, I think that's how it started.
YouTube. Yeah, he started off on YouTube, but him and his brother. But I don't, like I said, I pretty much let the kids watch a lot of stuff, see a lot of stuff, do whatever, like, let them make their own choices, and I, like, intervene and whatever. What I think. The Paul brothers are not allowed at my house. The only time they're allowed to see them is when it's on freaking wrestling.
Is there
I can't
anything music-wise that's happening?
The musical act just got a.
Oh, some DJ is going to be DJing while people come in, like while people are waiting in line and coming in.
It's the same DJ that did SummerSlam last year. I can't remember his name.
Like, remember that awful battle royal where Kid Rock was performing, and then as the women came in, oh God.
Yeah. That was, how do we get 25 people down to the ring at once? And that was the solution.
It's going to be very interesting. I don't know. It's a shame because we're not far from WrestleMania, and I'm not getting the WrestleMania feel. I'm not getting the vibe,
And we're so excited about it. We're talking about it like this.
Guys, I'll be right back.
All right, I got the musical guest right here. What his name is?
They have to kind of pick and choose who's going to be on which show, because and to make us as fans make the decision, because you can't put out a shitty WrestleMania and then an awesome WrestleMania. Although now it's kind of feeling like both are going to be like, eh.
It's the WWE. Sure, they can.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's
anything.
The problem that's going to happen. With this happened with New Japan. New Japan they have a show on July 4th every year. That's their big show. And then during the pandemic, or whatever it was, right around the same time, WWE. Actually, I think New Japan did it first, and then WWE copied them for WrestleMania a few months later by making it. Their January 4th show is now 2 nights, the 4th and the 5th. And they did the same kind of thing where, like, they built it up as one night had a bunch of stuff and then the other night had a bunch of stuff. And it turned out the 2 years that they've done it, it's turned out that one show has felt bigger and been bigger and the matches were better than the other. And this has been consistent the last it's either 2 or 3 years that New Japan's done it. One night, and I think it's the last night, has always been considered like the real event. And I fear like that's what's going to happen, where WrestleMania Saturday is going to turn into like the NXT takeover, which is like considered optional. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Saturday is really going to be like, maybe not necessarily this year, but in the future, I feel like the Saturday part of WrestleMania is going to end up being the afterthought. And then the real event is Sunday. Cause like that's Sunday WrestleMania is, as far as everyone's concerned, that's WrestleMania. So that's my fear, is like Saturday's going to be and they're going to try and pump up Sunday, and then it's going to be like, well, then the reaction is going to be, why bother with the Saturday show if the big moment is going to be on Sunday? Like that's my whole argument, is like, why do we need 2 nights of WrestleMania? Why don't we just pick the best most WrestleMania worthy matches, 8 matches, 9 whatever matches, and have I'm gonna speak. Excuse me, and I just have one big event with the matches that are worth it instead of having to fill out the show with I mean, we're 2 or 3 weeks away and we still don't know what half the fucking matches are for both nights of WrestleMania. It doesn't make any sense.
And we're also at a point where TakeOver, nobody gives a shit about takeovers anymore because they fucking ruin it.
And I'm sure TakeOver is going to be good. They're going to have the ladder match, the national title or whatever they call it, the North American title ladder match. That's classically, traditionally been good, and I hope this year with the talent they have, and it seems like it's going to be good. But for me, they fucked up the main event scene of NXT because they had this moment of the story that was being told was Tommaso was the old guard of Black and Gold NXT, and Bron Breakker was the new guy representing the new era of NXT. Mm-hmm. He lost the first time and then he won the title. And now it's like, and they that was like his crowning moment. And now they almost want to like undo it to redo it on WrestleMania weekend by beating Dolph Ziggler. Like, I couldn't give a single shit. I used to be a big Dolph Ziggler fan. I couldn't give a single shit that he won the NXT title a couple weeks ago. That does nothing.
Nope.
Especially because the setup is, for a fact, because it's Dolph Ziggler, he is 100% losing that title at Stand and Deliver. So it literally doesn't matter. That is the overarching problem I have with the product right now, is that you look at it and you go, none of this matters.
Right. And considering the level of talent and how many years he's put in and has been a workhorse for the WWE, they took him out. They took him out of a spot out of WrestleMania. Unless they throw together, which God, I hope not, another Andre the Giant men's battle royal or something that he could throw in. But he's going to have no match Saturday or Sunday for WrestleMania now because he's NXT champion to drop.
Yeah.
Shitty weekend.
Well, unless they were like, listen, we are not, like, management went to him like, we have no plans for you and Robert Roode at WrestleMania. We're just not going to be using you. Your option is to go down to NXT and work with those guys, and then if you do, you're going to work Stand and Deliver. They might have flat out said that, or been like, hey, you're going to be one of 4 teams in a 4 corners tag team title match. Oh, and you're not winning. You know what I mean? Like,
either way, it's all still a slap in the face to him.
Yeah, but I mean, what has he done? I'm going to quit and I'm going to leave and I'm going to renegotiate my contract. I'm going to come out with no music. I'm going to come out with just a spotlight. There's going to be a record scratch. Like, give me something to sink my teeth into. The guy is just, all he does is, he was like Zack Ryder. I didn't like Zack Ryder in the WWE because all he did was fucking complain. Oh, they're not using me on TV. Oh, I'm sitting backstage and catering. It's like, you're a millionaire, motherfucker, because you sat back there and ate chicken tenders during Raw. You're literally a millionaire because you sat in catering. And like, Dolph said, I'm going to walk away. I need more money. Blah, blah. Like, I have millionaires trying to become billionaires. I have no sympathy for. World's tiniest violin. If you want to leave and go do stand-up comedy or try and be an actor, you can do that. But like, to just constantly kind of like sideways shit on wrestling, like I could be doing something else, but I'm wrestling now. And like, wrestling is just like, it's the thing I'm doing right now. But maybe I'll act later. It's like, just do it. Chris Jericho left. Chris Jericho acts on shit. CM Punk acts on shit. Like, you can do it. Like, instead of talking about it, be about it. Like, that's the thing that bugs me. It's always like he's building up, hey guys, I'm going to leave and I'm going to strike out on my own. And then this, that, and the other thing happens. And he's just like back to being, hey, just kidding, I'm back as Dolph Ziggler. Like, either you're doing it or you're not, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, he just comes in the room, he flung the door open, and he just goes, I just realized something. Where's Kairi Sane been? So
oh, she's back in Japan.
She went back to Japan, Vince said.
Yeah, they announced her full.
No,
I don't think she's coming back.
I don't think
she's
so, baby.
Like some kind of ambassador for WWE, or maybe that's over too.
Is Asuka?
She was.
Yeah, Asuka's supposed to come back.
Yeah, Asuka's supposed to come back, but Kairi's done, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. She's going back. She went back to the company. I think it's Stardom, I think that's the company she was with. But she announced her return, and she's going to have like a big, like a title match or a main event match there. They always loved her over there, so they're going to treat her like a big deal.
Plus, isn't she married to what's his name in Japan?
Evil?
Evil.
She's married to one of those guys. Yeah. Good for him.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, Kairi Hojo. Kairi is not. She's just, and it's funny now. She's just going by Kairi, all capital letters.
Okay. Yeah, he's just like, I just thought of something. He just flung the door open. I just thought of something. Ask the guys where Kairi Sane is. Like you guys like have a personal, like have her like personal hookup.
Yeah.
Although
no,
Eric
I mean, it's a
wishes he
good
did.
thought because I mean it's WrestleMania season.
He's not wrong.
You would
I
think
miss Kairi Sane too.
Yeah, and you know she's a former women's champion, former women's tag team champion. Asuka's a former women's champion, former tag team champion, and those are names you would expect to see. I know Kairi, according to Wikipedia here, her ambassador contract expired December 2021.
Huh.
And it is Stardom that it looks like she went back to because she was there for years.
I mean, WWE does have a backup in Io Shirai, but you know. How long until they fuck that up too?
Well, then they've also got what February. They have the other girl who in NXT right now. In like, listen, I'm not one to say I'm not one of those people that looks at something and goes, "Oh my God, it's racist." But when I see a Japanese girl dressed like a schoolgirl who can't wrestle, but then she puts on a magical necklace and transforms like Sailor Moon, and then all of a sudden she can wrestle, that's kind of fucking racist, right?
It's not kind of, it's extremely.
It's like, you expect you to go out and say, "Me Reiki, you wrong time," or something like, "What are we doing?"
You long time.
There's that.
Yo, it's so bad. Like, and then the funny thing is, the other
Wendy Chu. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Karen Q on the Indies, Wendy Chu. They decided she's going to be the new Orange Cassidy for NXT. Because she's doing exactly the same thing as Orange. She's sleeping during matches, and like when somebody tries to elbow drop her, she rolls over like she's sleeping on her side or whatever. She's doing all the Orange Cassidy greatest hits.
Yeah, but
Orange
Cassidy doesn't bring a teddy bear and a pillow to the ring.
Well, no, because AEW is a little more subtle. NXT 2.0 needs to beat you over the. Hey, did you know my name's Angelo? Christopher Columbus is a hero in this house. We eat gabagool every day. Pasta marinara. Give me some calamari. Like they're just like put the most racist fucking shit out there. Our fans are too dumb to understand this guy's in the mafia.
It's like
he has to talk about gabagool all the time.
Yeah, it's like they put mid 1995 WWF inside of NXT with this bullshit.
Right. They want the new generation characters.
Where's
but
the
NXT
Where's
Black
Freddie
and
Joe
Gold
Floyd and TL Hopper?
Freddie Joe Floyd, TL Hopper, fucking Abe Knuckleball.
If they get a dupe the dumpster Drosy, I'm out of here.
I feel like do they not? They don't have a trash guy. No, they've got the guy that's Andre Chase, and I'll give him credit because he actually is doing well with this, but it's just NCAA basketball coach Bobby Knight.
Yep.
It's for people who don't know Bobby, and I think that's it. They think their audience might be too young to understand it's a direct Bobby Knight reference, but the red sweater over the white button up, throwing chairs and yelling at people.
Pointing and screaming and everything. Yep.
And
the only thing he hasn't done is take a shit in the middle of the ring and say, "That's how you wrestled tonight." Because one time, this is no joke, one time back in the 80s, Bobby Knight was so mad at his team at practice, he called into practice, he walked to center court where they do the tip-off. He dropped his pants, took a shit, pointed to it and said, "That's how you played last night," and left. And that was the end of practice.
Yep.
He was a madman. And if Andre Chase shits in the ring, he's my new favorite wrestler.
And then all that was missing from that is Vince McMahon coming in and saying, "That's good shit."
I think you just found a way to make this happen. Is if the guy and then Vince McMahon literally has to say, "That's good shit," and then balloons fall from the ceiling and confetti rains from the sky. Like that would be the crowning shit joke of the WWE. Like.
Well, that's what the current product is, so it wouldn't be terrible. That's good shit.
Oh man!
Now where's TL Hopper when you need him?
Freddie, dude, where's Repo Man when you need him?
Repo bear.
Can we repossess this whole thing? Oh, great. Now I'm going to have that theme song stuck in my head the rest of the
Repo bear. My favorite part was he did this little hee. Like, what is that? Like, who? And he had tire tracks. Like, who did somebody run him over? Why did he have tire tracks on his jacket?
Yep. What's yours is mine. What's mine is mine too. Oh my God.
Wow, look at our discussion about WrestleMania and NXT. Go right back to things that happened 30 or 40 years ago.
Because that's more entertaining than what's fucking happening right now.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
I can't believe that we're this close to Mania and it's just not the Mania feel.
No.
WrestleMania 38. I gotta look something up here. I'm going on Wikipedia like crazy tonight just to figure stuff out. April 2nd and 3rd. That means
it's 1 week from this Saturday.
It is so crazy that it's the 38th WrestleMania already.
Well, you know why it feels crazy? Because the last 2 or 3 years feel like 3 months. So it feels time doesn't mean anything anymore. I think I was like, did that happen last year? And it's something that happened in 2019.
WWE
you know what I mean?
Like quantum realm right now.
The whole world. I mean, it's just. Well, there was that one WrestleMania, like it was almost like the lost WrestleMania in a fucking warehouse with nobody there. And then they do.
That was 2020,
yeah.
That was 2020. Then they do the next one. And like half of them were cinematic matches, and they had that overly long Edge and Randy Orton match. Not that it wasn't good; it was just too long. Yeah, and that one kind of had a crowd, maybe.
No,
like
that was the warehouse. No. Edge and Randy Orton.
That was the warehouse one too.
Match. Yeah, that was at the warehouse.
Jeez,
last year Edge was in the main event with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan.
That's right. See, this is what I'm talking about time not meaning anything anymore because of COVID.
He won the 2021 Royal Rumble to main event WrestleMania. So the Edge Randy Orton happens, at the dead one. Mm-hmm.
It's just sad.
Oh, and Big E. Oh yeah, Big E didn't win a Rumble. Big E won a
remember the main events anymore.
No.
I think
no wonder why they keep going back to Brock versus Roman.
Well, because it's 2 nights. What is truly the main event? Is the main event night the last match of night 1 or the last match of night 2? Because in my eyes, it's whatever the last match that happens at the end, whether it's Saturdays, the very, very last thing that happens that weekend is the main event. That's just what it is. And if it's Brock and Roman's the main event. You can say Charlotte and Ronda is the main event of night 1, but that's like saying that's the big number before intermission. If you're going to see a Broadway play, like you get No One Mourns the Wicked or whatever it is right at the end of Act 1, and then you go to intermission. And then then the big finale is at the end of the show. Like it's only Act 1. Saturday's Act 1. It's not the main event.
Because at least at Mania 35, when we went, it was, Ronda, Becky, Charlotte was the main event. The actual last match and main,
It was the show where they decided they wanted to do it 2 nights because it went too long. The problem was it's not that it only went too long because they tried to put too much shit on it. That show started out hot with Rollins beating Brock in like 2 minutes after a low blow and a bunch of curb stomps.
Right. And Kofi Mania was that night too, I think.
Kofi Mania was that night. I mean, that's when Becky became Becky 2 belts. If you take some of the filler out in the middle, like I'm sorry, Elias, but you playing the drums with 5 other CGI Eliases, that could have been cut. Like there's a lot of stuff that could have just been cut from, like Triple H's short film that aired before his entrance that took like 15 minutes. That shit could have gone. Like there was a lot of stuff that just could have not been on that WrestleMania to make it a shorter show so that people don't remember it as, oh, well, it was good, but it was too long.
Yeah, but like I said, I just pulled up the Wikipedia just and everything now. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they announced that. Yeah, that's going to be awful.
And that's on night 1, so at least we're not trying to push that on night 2. But then night 2 has Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn.
See now,
well, yeah, because there's going to be a big stunt there.
Right, I was gonna say it's gonna be entertaining. As
course.
much as I'm not excited for this match, Johnny Knoxville's fucking nuts, so he's
Right.
gonna do something stupid.
But my point being though is the Intercontinental title is not on the line, nor is the U.S. Championship. They're not putting these belts on the line for these gimmick matches. And let me see. They're putting okay. So the Mysterios and Miz and Logan Paul, at least as of right now, is going to be on Saturday night. Thank God. But even it's stupid. Like, why are half the titles not even? Some of the titles aren't even being defended. It's WrestleMania.
Well, I think they. I would assume they would be, right? Like,
there's a total of 5 matches. There's 5 matches on night 1 already, and 6 matches on night 2. How many more matches are you going to add in a week?
I thought the rule of thumb for WrestleMania is that every title gets defended. That's kind of the idea. So, I mean, we're running out of time for them to throw a match together. Although, I mean, look what we're dealing with. But
they can just put they can literally just go, hey, we're going to have a 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title. And everybody would go, oh, okay. And then if they say, hey, it's the Scott Hall Memorial or the Razor Ramon Memorial Intercontinental ladder match, and the winner gets a yellow strap IC title, you're like, okay, it's fine. Like, there's ways to make it interesting. They're not going to do any of them. They should hire me because I come up with better ideas than them. Like, that took 2 fucking seconds to think of. Ladder match, Scott Hall Memorial, yellow strap IC title, send 5 or 6 guys out there and go. Like, come on.
And then again, don't know if it's doing it or not doing it yet, but there's still no Andre the Giant or Women's Battle Royal in there yet either. So that's another 15, 20 minutes that's going to take up.
Yep. There's no U.S. title match.
And no IC.
Yeah. Yeah, no IC, no US. There's both the SmackDown Raw Tag Team Championships are being defended. Wow. Damn. And there's going to be a 24/7 segment on one or both nights.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But
Dana Brooke.
But the 2 biggest women matches that are happening, it's not the tag match. I'm sorry. I'd rather see the Fatal 4-Way tag match on Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know why you put both women's unless some shit's gonna go. The only reason you would put both women's world title matches up on the same night is maybe some shit like maybe Bailey's coming back. I don't know. Like,
so save that for Sunday. Save that pop for Sunday then still too.
Yeah.
Why are you putting it on Saturday?
It absolutely doesn't. It doesn't make sense that there are 2 women's single titles match, especially when the men's matches is a unification, but traditionally the men's matches were split up too. Drew was on one night and Roman was on the other night. And even last year,
you put it best. Right. You put it best last year. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
You had said it last year, because the Roman Reigns win and everything was it was kind of the feel good moment of WrestleMania didn't happen because Bianca won on Saturday night. You're taking that away again.
Like Bianca went. Here's the thing: they've scheduled it. They have it listed here on Wikipedia. Becky Lynch Bianca as the first match of the night on night 1. That's going to get Bianca winning and beating Becky after being screwed out of the title at SummerSlam and all this stuff. 6 months later, 8 months later, comes back to win. She's going to get a bigger pop than the Mysterios match against Logan Paul. So why put it before that? She's definitely going to get a bigger reaction than Drew against Happy Corbin. It's going to get a bigger reaction than the tag team match unless Boogs bench presses both Usos over his head. And then it's definitely going to get a better reaction than Charlotte and Ronda. As much as I love Ronda, she's not doing, the magic is not there like it was the first time. So I just think that whole, if you look at night 1, it's backwards. I would just flip the whole fucking thing.
Yep.
I would literally just flip it. But I don't have the pencil, as they say.
But I said, does Drew McIntyre, Happy Corbin? You know what? You want to have Drew McIntyre, Happy Corbin, or do any of that shit? Put it on the 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah, or I don't know, give one of those guys a title and make it a title match, or some sort of stipulation.
Don't give Happy Corbin a title. Come on, don't do that.
Right, but or if Happy Corbin loses, he has to change his name to mediocre Corbin, or like give me a stipulation. Like, I don't know. This doesn't make any, like, Madcap Moss has to stop wearing his madcap all the time if they lose. I don't know. It's a singles match on WrestleMania with no stakes. That's a problem.
Yeah, and then like I said, I just realized looking at this. So again, we know Finn Balor because he's the Intercontinental Champion, right? Is he the No, he's the U.S. Champion. I'm sorry,
He's the U.S. Champion.
Right, but
Ricochet, right, is the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. Sheamus isn't fucking on this card at all.
And neither is Butch or Luke or any of the other guys.
You got the Bushwhackers?
Yeah. You know that's a the name is a Bushwhacker is direct. Pete Dunne's new name is directly a Bushwhackers reference because one of the other guys in the group, his name is really Luke. Like not Sheamus, but who's the other? Ridge Holland. His real name, I guess.
Real name is Luke. Luke Menzies. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
they only gave Pete Dunne the name Butch because they thought it was funny that Luke and Butch would be together. Like, what the fuck are we doing? These are real people, and they're treating them like action figures.
It's like how Virgil
and then it's like,
became Virgil.
And someone goes, "Oh, that's okay. They're all Irish." Yeah, no, they're not. Pete Dunne and Luke Menzies are not Irish.
Yo, Pete. And honestly, that's one of those things where, like, if you call an English person Irish or like a Scottish person English,
yeah, exactly.
That's like saying calling a Puerto Rican person a Dominican. It's like you just don't do it.
Watch it. No.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying.
Don't make me send the Vicks after you.
Like, why don't they just take?
Somehow a chancla just hit me in the head. I don't know where it came from.
Why don't they just take Balor and Ricochet and unify those?
Yeah, so night one's kind of a mess. Night two, I mean, night two is the night to watch. You've got a fatal four-way for the women's tag team championship. Not that I give a shit about any of them, but you've got Knoxville and Sami Zayn in a anything goes match where Johnny Knoxville is going to get lit on fire or shot out of a cannon or something.
That doesn't need to be a WrestleMania.
McAfee's proven that he's going to be good. Austin Theory, you already know, is a good wrestler. If Vince gets involved in the match, that elevates that match.
Right.
RK Bro, Street Profits, Alpha Academy. I mean, unfortunately, they've already wrestled each other so many times. It's not new, but it's still going to be a good match. Mm-hmm. Edge and AJ Styles. I will say with an asterisk that I'm looking forward to this match, and I think it's going to be very good because they're two of my favorite all-time performers. But if it's another one of those 45-minute matches, no. Like, it's got to be like a 20-minute. You know what I mean? I don't need those two guys to go 45 minutes to show me how good they are. I just need them to go 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. But still going to be a good match.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Brock and Roman to unify the titles. Night two. Night two is the night to watch. Like, if you can only watch one night, night two is the night to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they shotgun Cody and Seth for night one, but still there's no stakes, there's no title, but at least there would be a story of like, hey, this guy is coming back and trying to like establish himself versus Seth, who's been here holding it down in the meantime. Like, there would be a story there, but we're also Monday means that they're telling the story on Monday Night Raw, and then it's happening in 6 days on Saturday at WrestleMania. Like, what are we doing?
Not a clue.
You know what? I just thought of something that.
What?
As we complain,
I always hold out hope because it's WrestleMania. They could surprise us. I think there are going to be a couple standout performances, but I just don't know if it's going to be. You used to be able to look back and go, WrestleMania. Let's pick one. Like WrestleMania 24 in Orlando. Good pay-per-view. WrestleMania 11 in Hartford. Not so good of a pay-per-view. WrestleMania 9 in Caesar's Palace. Not so good of a pay-per-view.
I thought 9 was awesome. Caesar's Palace?
Caesar's Palace. 9? Caesar's parking lot. Where the Undertaker won by disqualification, and then Hogan.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, am I thinking of the right one? Caesar's Palace. This was when Bobby Heenan came out on the camel backwards.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the Yoko, the Bret Hart, the Hogan saga at the end. I thought it was great. The multiple doinks. I love that pay-per-view.
Double Doink was pretty good, but like overall, it's been regarded as one of the. I think now, as people go
I
back,
still think 11 was worse.
but it used to be on the list of like worst WrestleManias. But what I'm saying is,
Undertaker got chloroformed.
Yeah. Right, the Undertaker got chloroformed. Hulk Hogan stole Bret Hart's moment at the end. Like, there's just there's things that people don't like about. Yeah, with a black eye, potentially.
With a black eye that he got from Randy Savage the night before.
Yeah. But there was things that people didn't like. But what I'm saying is, like, you used to be able to go back and do that about WrestleMania. Like, oh, this one was good. It's like the Star Trek movies. The first one was boring, but Wrath of Khan was good, and then like you could pick out which ones you liked. It's like this is just like well, when somebody talks about WrestleMania 38 in a couple years, you're like, hey, I like WrestleMania 38. Oh, which one? Saturday or Sunday? Night 1 or night 2? Like,
right. Yeah.
What do we?
And
like,
what do you?
It's silly.
Like you said, you pulled out 9, and we all just started pulling out matches and everything. Can't do
Here's
it.
the thing that could be worse.
But what if one night is good and one night is bad?
Right.
You can't say, hey, WrestleMania this year was good, because half of it wasn't. Like, it's just it's so weird to think of it as a 2-night event. It's just, even though they did it last year, I still can't wrap my mind around it.
Here's where it could be worse, though.
They did it 2 years. They did an empty arena too. Empty arena was 2 nights as well, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But like,
I think
so.
It
was
36, 2020.
But like, can you imagine if like there was no
yeah.
Peacock,
Oh man.
yeah,
I'm going through. That's. I remember because I was going to this WrestleMania, and then the fucking pandemic hit, and it got canceled. Anyway, yeah, we're barreling straight ahead on a roller coaster to our own grave, known as the Road to WrestleMania. We'll see what happens the rest of the year, or the rest of the week, rather, to see what we're going to do to build up this show.
At least there was no Roadblock pay-per-view.
Oh my God! I almost wouldn't have minded a Roadblock pay-per-view. I mean, what's the worst that could happen at this point?
A lot.
I know I shouldn't joke.
But again, like I said, like, what if there was no network or Peacock and people were paying pay-per-view prices for 2 fucking nights?
Fuck that shit.
You would make it right now. If I had to buy and pay money for one, if I had to, it would be night 2. There would be no way that I'm paying for that set, unless it was a package where you got it cheaper, which of course they would probably do. But still, like, it's just so, it is silly. When you think about it, back in the day, you used to pay $30, $40, $50, $60, $70 for a pay-per-view at the end of it.
Look at WrestleMania 2, where they had it in like 3 different locations. That was
that's the Coliseum part. I was there.
That was a swing and a miss, though, because
Yeah, that one was a big swing and a miss, but also like it was on. The first couple WrestleManias up until like WrestleMania like 8 or 9 was on closed circuit TV. You would have to like go to a theater and watch it.
So, Kat, you still got Hogan Bundy cage match, right?
Correct, I did.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
And then what you're saying when it was on closed circuit, Eric, you'll appreciate this. My dad used to take me to the Comac bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to go to the Comac bar to watch. I used to think I was so cool because I'd be sitting on a bar stool, like here's the bar. But I'd be doing this to watch my wrestling. I think the first pay-per-view that they actually bought to watch in the house, I think it was 6. I think that was the first time you could actually purchase one on a pay-per-view.
Right. You had to have the special box that could do that.
Right. And then there you go. You see a number right there, whatever. I mean, besides Warrior and Hogan, you got Savage and Dusty with Elizabeth and Sapphire and Sherry.
But this is like a new era of WrestleManias where it's 2 nights, and it's
there is a clear division now between the
this
old
is now
era
like the
of
third one that's 2 nights, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, including the empty arena one, yeah.
Maybe if they did an empty, people didn't buy the tickets for this. And they were performed in an empty arena. Maybe that's when they'd realize, hey, listen, the product kind of
I don't know. Supposedly, the last time they had WrestleMania in Dallas, they had 107,000 people in that building. They don't have 107,000 people coming each night, but they might have 55 or 65,000 coming in, which means that you're basically, there's an overlap. You probably just have the same amount of people that are coming, and a lot of people are just coming the second night. Like it looks good to say, you know, we got 55 or 60,000 people both nights for 120 combined, but really, like, overlap wise, most of them are the same people. They're not just going for one night. Like, it seems like a waste of time for one night.
But like, if you're going to do that, and especially if they end up back in New York, why don't they just have one at the Garden and the other at Barclay or something? You know,
that would be cool.
See, that's not a bad idea.
It's not to say that they won't do it. And on that note, it is top of the hour, folks.
All right. Well, it is top of the hour. Thank you guys for sticking with us all through our show on our road to WrestleMania. This is the War Report podcast brought to you by Tag Me a Date. Be sure to follow us on social media at Tag Me a Date. Tag Me a Date, no spaces. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, TikTok, all over Instagram, all over the place. At Tag Me a Date. It's all one word, no space.
Kellogg's Instagrams.
Head over to youtube.com, type in Tag Me a Date in the search bar. You'll find our YouTube channel where you can hit subscribe and hit the bell. You'll get notified when we go live. We go live Tuesday evenings, 6 p.m. on Eastern time. We did recently go through daylight savings time, so just adjust your clocks as necessary. Or if you follow us, you know, if you subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell, or if you follow us on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/War Report. That's twitch.tv/War Report, or if you follow us on Periscope, which is just Tag Me a Date, you'll get a notification when we go live, so you won't have to figure out what time we go on, especially if you live in a country that doesn't adhere to our stupid daylight savings time rules. But anyway, that's about that. All of our video archives are up on YouTube and Twitch and all that good stuff. If you prefer an audio version instead of the video version of the podcast, you can go to your favorite podcast apps, such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. All you have to do is search for the War Report or Tag Me a Date. We'll come right up. When you're looking for the War Report, there are 2 wrestling-related War Report podcasts up on your podcast apps. Just look at the graphic. When you see the little thumbnail there, it should say Tag Me a Date on there. Our logo kind of looks like a Raw logo, but flipped backwards, so it says War. You'll know it's us. Just make sure you're following us. I don't care if you follow those other guys. I would prefer if you follow just us, but if you do follow them, that's fine. But just be sure to definitely follow us, and then maybe follow those other guys.
When it comes to podcasts called The War Report, we're Roman Reigns. Acknowledge us.
Yeah.
That's right. We had to get that in because Eddie wasn't here today. Somebody had to say it. But unfortunately, it looks like Steve got kicked off. I think my Wi-Fi card shit the bed in my iMac today, and Steve just got kicked off. We are having technical problems out the wazoo, so I think that was as good of a time as any to end the podcast. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Eastern time for another edition of the War Report as we barrel into the finale of the Road to WrestleMania. SmackDown will be done. Raw will be their go-home show. We're going to be on the next night talking about the build-up. Will Seth Rollins get an opponent Monday night as he opens the show? Will it be Cody Rhodes? Will it be somebody else?
Why do you
Will Cody Rhodes bring the Shaq with him to wrestle almost? Yo, listen, it would be so funny if it was like, if Seth Rollins comes out and it was Corey, like if Corey Graves just stands up from the announce table and is like, I've had enough of this. I'm wrestling.
That's what I thought was going to happen last night for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it did seem like it was the setup for it. Like he was like for the whole hostage thing he was holding, and then
maybe that's the backup plan if Cody isn't coming in. Who knows, man? We literally are in wait and see mode. We have no other choice because there's been they've only made teases. That's it. So we'll see. Shit.
And I'd rather see, instead of Logan Paul, I'd rather see the greatest hits of the Disco Inferno at this point.
Wow. Strong words.
Oh, but
Disco Fever.
Real quick, shout out, if we're going to say anything about AEW, shout out to Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Last week for
one hell of a match.
That cage match and winning the women's title was awesome. Great
on her birthday in her hometown of San Antonio. What a moment.
Great moment.
See? A company that actually knows when it's your hometown to acknowledge you.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we'd talk a little bit more about AEW, but I know it's WrestleMania season, so that's going to be the big headlines for now. But yeah, we'll get back into this. We'll definitely get back into the AEW stuff as time goes on. But we got to see how this whole WrestleMania thing shakes out. And we'll do it all next week. Thank you for sticking with us. Remember to share the videos, share the podcast. If you've got friends who are wrestling fans and they like listening to podcasts, have them give us a listen. We love having new people in the chat. We love having new people join us, listening to the archives, whatever it may be. So spread the word, and we will see you guys next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report. And I'm trying to see how I can end the show from here. I don't know if I can. I don't have. I unfortunately, if I hit the leave button, I might just leave. And if I just leave, I think everybody leaves, and then we'll have Steve figured out. All right, I'm gonna hit the button.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Are we still up?
Oh, we're still live. I'll end that for us. I think I figured it out.